Hello, everyone, and thank you for visiting my channel. I hope that one and every one of you are having a terrific day. I would appreciate it if you could go ahead and press the subscribe button and give this video a like before I begin the video. There is a heartbreak on Young and Restless as Tracy puts the pieces together about Alan. Additionally, Phyllis' breakdown brings her closer to finding out the truth. Spoiler alert. During this week's episode of Young and Restless, there were only 3 episodes available since March Madness basketball brought its customary preemptions. Take a look at what has occurred and what is going to take place in the future. History of. What I have to say about Holden is, it's reasonable for Nick to fret. The connection between him and Audra is remarkable. When it comes to Damien, I found it enjoyable to continue to see another side of him as he accepts not just his mother, but also his new half-brother. In the previous week, he brought out a bantery and playful part of Lily, but in the scenes at Society, when she and Davin saw Audra with Holden, that aspect of Lily was gone. It irritates me that the siblings are written in such a manner that is always devoid of comedy. In fact, there is a topic on the bulletin boards of soaps that has the heading Davin and Lily were insufferable today. There is a possibility that Holden ought to deliver a pitcher of margaritas to their table. As we go into the future, it is quite evident that Aristotle Dumas, Damien's employer, will play a role in the narrative in some way. Furthermore, it is obvious that Victor has a past with him all of a sudden. Disruption of. The abduction has come to an end, but the wounds are still visible. The person responsible for the crime is still at large. Phyllis's emotional issues in the aftermath are a direct result of this. It is very logical and makes perfect sense. What I am unable to comprehend is the reason why Sharon is in perfect health. Being locked up in a mental institution with her competitor coming on the heels of being tied up in a filthy, freezing sewer, being drugged many times, and being accused of murder, including the actual disposal of a dead corpse, implies that she should also be having some troubles right about now. Being imprisoned up in a mental hospital with her opponent is a new development. Instead, she is concentrating on her romantic prospects. How do I feel about Nick's decision to decline her invitation to London? The authors are merely dragging it out more than necessary. Either he will ultimately make the decision to go, or they will eventually get together. As for Phyllis, despite the fact that Summer requested that Nick accompany her to check on her mother, it is quite evident that Billy, the redhead, will be the one to whom we will be leaning as we enter a love triangle with Sally, Billy, and Phyllis. Bringing all of the components together. I feel that Tracy is a mystery writer in addition to being a novelist who has won awards. As a result, it shouldn't take her very long to fit the pieces together in terms of Alan's situation. Because Kyle made a handy reference to Sharon and Phyllis being rescued from an abandoned clinic, soon after Alan got a series of notifications about a breach on his phone, and because Alan then fled the country, it became all too simple to figure out what was going on. When I watched the trailer, which showed Tracy informing Jack that she is concerned that Alan is not who he claims to be, I physically felt the buildup in the narrative collapse. This is something that occurs all too often with the writers who are now working on the show. Why not keep Tracy completely in the dark so that she may be surprised by a startling surprise during the wedding at the very least? Despite the fact that it will be nice to see Alan, or Martin, exposed, it is becoming more clear that this will be yet another blunder or fizzle. I am the only author of the views presented. In the comment box, you are welcome to offer your comments on the Young and the Restless episode that aired this week has some of the most surprising disclosures to date. At the same time that Traci Abbott is following her instincts and discovering the truth about Alan's history, the pieces are beginning to fall into place, exposing truths that have the potential to alter everything. In the meanwhile, Phyllis is at the point where she is about to break down. And in a turn of events that was completely unexpected, her moment of vulnerability forges a startling connection with someone from her former experiences. It is the instincts of Tracy that lead to the devastating truth. When it comes to Alan, Traci Abbott has always had a strong sense of intuition, and she just can't seem to escape the sensation that something isn't quite right. As Tracy delves further into Alan's past and unearths surprising contradictions in his narrative, what initially begins as a casual curiosity quickly transforms into a full-fledged quest to discover hidden truths. Through her investigation, she discovers a long-lost chapter in Genoa City's history, one that establishes a connection between Alan and a scandal that had been buried for many years. During the process of putting together the pieces of the jigsaw, Tracy comes to the realization that Alan may not be who he claims to be, and that his presence in town could have disastrous effects for the Abbott family. There was a confrontation with Alan. Tracy approaches Alan, armed with her information, and demands answers from their conversation. Tracy's concerns are only fueled by Alan's evasive behavior, which consists of delivering half-truths and answers that are ambiguous. The more she pushes him, the more defensive he gets, until eventually, the truth comes tumbling out in a dramatic revelation that leaves Tracy reeling. He becomes more and more defensive. The consequences of Alan's lie have the potential to upset the Abbott family to its very foundation. It will be up to Jack and Ashley to choose how they will respond to this startling turn of events, and Tracy will have to deal with the emotional weight of discovering a betrayal that she did not anticipate having occurred. The moment of breakdown for Phyllis, as well as an unexpected connection. In another part of Genoa City, Phyllis Summers is struggling to keep her wits about her. A number of factors, including the weight of her previous errors, the damaged connections she has with her children, and the never-ending cycle of conflict she has with Diane, have together taken their toll. In a moment of weakness, Phyllis finally lets down her guard and gives herself permission to express the grief that she has been carrying for a much longer period of time than she should have. But she is not the only one. Unexpectedly, someone watches her collapse, and rather than taking advantage of her weakness, they give comfort in a manner that Phyllis had not imagined. Would it be possible that Phyllis is about to embark on a new phase of her life? Could it be that she is being prepared for yet another heartbreak? What the future holds for Genoa City? As a result of Tracy's bombshell revelation about Alan and Phyllis' newly discovered relationship, the stakes in Genoa City have never been greater than they are right now. The unraveling of secrets and the shifting of relationships are two things that are certain. Nothing will ever be the same again. As the aftermath from these disclosures continues to shock the town, you should stay tuned for more drama on The Young and the Restless.